Have concerns about SA and, safety at Uber? Well, they know, and they've got a response.
Xbox, Twitter, Uber,
Postmates,
Netflix, MoviePass,
Google,
eBay,
DoorDash,
Apple, Amazon, Airbnb,
The Apptrepreneur. Hey everyone, this is Kevin, the Apptrepreneur, and SA and harassment in general is a very touchy subject with Uber. It's a touchy subject because they're clearly aware it exists, clearly knows they should be doing something, and clearly they don't give a darn. They just don't. So they've been dancing around the issue for years, although we're at the point where, at the very least, they might want to pay some true lip service that maybe it won't actually do anything, who knows, but they're going to at least make it sound as pretty as possible. However, before we talk about any of that, let's have a word from our sponsors.
If you have rideshare insurance, you know what a disaster it is. It's super expensive. Some guys are paying over $100 a month for it on top of their regular insurance. So we're working with an insurance company to help lower prices and get better coverage. They're working on a plan where Uber and Lyft drivers will either pay by the mile or by the hour. You'll only pay for what you use, but we need some information from you, the drivers. We need to know on average how far and how long you drive with Uber and Lyft each week. So would you click on the link below in the description and take just 5 minutes to fill out the survey? We'd really appreciate it.
By the way, guys, I once in a while I do want to say, if you haven't taken that survey yet, please consider doing it. Thanks to their support, I've been able to update more videos. I've been able to go to these rallies because of the extra finances they provide. They do want to help you out, and they just need you to take a couple minutes to fill out the survey below. So if you could please do it, they're so close to getting all the information they need. And with that said, let's look at this article from CNN. Because Uber is addressing workplace harassment as rider safety concerns linger. This is another familiar story like the last video, but we'll see if I get as upset on this one as I did in that one. 2 years ago, Uber was hardly a company lauded for its approach to SH in the workplace. But now the newly public company has struck up a partnership with a young nonprofit called the Purple Campaign, whose mission is to end SH in the workplace. Uber, along with Amazon, Expedia, and Airbnb, it's interesting that Amazon's in there. It's almost as if they're doing a very poor job taking care of their employees. You're free shipping at work, folks. Anyway, have all agreed to share information with the nonprofit about their internal policies, including training, reporting, and response channels, and diversity and inclusion efforts. The information is intended to ultimately help the Purple Campaign develop a certification that will indicate a company has taken adequate steps to internally prevent and address SH. Uber has a sordid history around the issue when it comes to both its corporate employees and drivers and riders. And by the way, if you've been watching this channel for a little while, you may know that recently we've been looking at someone who claims to work for Uber, or at least claimed to work for Uber at one point, who said that their SA and SH situations have not improved at all. During a small event in New York City, Uber Chief Diversity Officer Bo Young Lee, who was hired in January 2018, addressed the corporate culture perfect storm it faced in February 2017, including the hashtag Delete Uber backlash and former engineer Susan Fowler's viral blog post outlining systematic H at the company. Fowler's allegations led to an outside investigation into Uber's culture and management exodus, and they have done very little about it ever since finding the results. SA and H by Uber drivers has more recently been in the spotlight. A 2018 CNN investigation found at least 103 Uber drivers in the United States had been accused of SA or other A, their passengers, in the previous 4 years. The drivers were arrested, wanted by police, or had been named in civil suits related to the incidents. It was the first time that any numbers had been put on the issue, although we suspected it was a lot, and that confirmed it. In the wake of that report, Uber eliminated its forced arbitration policy for SH and other complaints for drivers, riders, and employees, as well as removed a confidentiality requirement as part of settlement agreements, of which that should have never been part of the deal in the first place. If you have a concern, you don't go to arbitration. That says you have something to hide. But of course, Uber knows that. This is more of a token gesture than anything. So, the move was praised at Tuesday's event, but eliminating forced arbitration was only one of the promised safety measures the company publicly said it would take following CNN's report. Uber also pledged to publish a safety transparency report to provide numbers on SA and other incidents that occur on its platform. More than a year later, the company has yet to release the safety transparency report, but said it plans to sometimes this year. I don't know. I don't think they're going to do it. I think they're going to put that off as long as they possibly can. They certainly didn't want it to come out before they went public, but personally, when I think they're going to release this report? I think after a few board members cash out their Uber stocks and leave the company, then they'll publish the report. Because people want to cash out first, then who cares if the company goes down in flames? So, in November 2018, Uber released a taxonomy report, the first step to releasing the transparency report. The taxonomy defines 21 categories of complaints ranging from staring or leering to, I'm not going to say that, and non-consensual SP. Not going to say that. It's a G-rated channel. And YouTube would demonetize it if I did. In security filings ahead of its initial public offering, Uber warned that the transparency report could have a detrimental impact on its business. So you think? Quote, I think the report itself will be coming out this year, Lee said when asked about the report status. I'm very curious about it. My main focus is on the internal side, so I'm going to take what we learned from that transparency report and say, is there something there that we can bring internal as well so we can ensure that we're being as consistent as possible on both sides of it? Well, yes, of course. Why would that even be a question? Lee stressed that with safety as a priority, Uber needs internal initiatives to match external efforts. But its external efforts are still a work in progress. In responding to a question about unsafe incidents on the Uber platform, Lee said that while her team is probably going to hate her for saying it, one of the biggest challenges is that drivers aren't employees. Yeah, you're right. I do hear it here, but continue. Because drivers are classified as contract workers, the company can do little by the way of training. What? They can obviously put YouTube videos up. But the company does have control over background checks and who is allowing to work as a driver. Yeah, I'd like them to explain that, by the way. Uber, like the other tech companies partnering with the Purple Campaign, is not guaranteed to receive certification as a result of the partnership, but is helping fund the efforts at Purple Campaign's founder, Ali Cole. Cole said the companies have agreed to administer a confidential HR policy survey to help glean feedback on their existing anti-H policies and practices. The Purple Campaign will produce a benchmark report to compare each organization's approach with other organizations and will provide recommendations for improvement. The Purple Campaign plans to create an outside stamp of approval for companies similar to the LEED Green Building Certification or the Human Rights Campaign Corporate Equality Index, which serves as a benchmark tool on corporate policies and practices concerning LGBTQ employees. The Purple Campaign was born out of the Me Too movement. Cole detailed at the event her own experience with Workplace H as an intern working on Capitol Hill. She was previously employed at law firm Boyes Schiller Flexner, but left after learning it retained investigators to spy on women, speaking out against Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein. Oh, geez, we got to speak about Harvey Weinstein again. So, anyway, yay. I don't know, guys. It's this song and day. Okay, we're just gonna cut through to the end. What do I think is gonna happen of this? Do I think we will see a report? Yes. Do I think it's gonna be as scathing as, for example, the last report? No. Because Uber and probably other companies are helping fund this. They're paying money, they're paying the bills, and it's this company is not going to throw them under the bus too much because they want continued business. It's kind of why the FDA is so the Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, sorry. Why are they so useless? Well, because some of their sponsors include Pepsi, Coca-Cola, Kellogg's, Hostess. All of these companies have really bad food, so that's why you get real crap that's approved by the FDA, but then good food, really good food, has to jump through hoops. I was watching that Food Incorporated documentary, and there was one farmer who said he almost got slammed with being, not being approved. His work was considered unsanitary because they were doing it outside. And you see, it's like a beautiful day. They're washing, the food and everything. It's like it looks completely sanitary, but they wouldn't do it. That's also why the Entertainment Software Association is not going to go against loot boxes and predatory microtransactions in video games, because their funders are Electronic Arts, Activision, Ubisoft, Sony, Sega, all these companies. Nintendo probably. So this report might make some terse recommendations. Might say a few things need to be worked on, but it's not going to be as scathing as you will hope, because Uber and Lyft and probably Postmates and DoorDash are paying their bills. So what they need to do is they need to create a report that shows that something needs to be done. It's something that Uber can reasonably do without changing too much. They will change that, and they will get complimented on saying, hey, you did a great job. That's what's going to happen in this situation, I believe. I could be wrong. Maybe they get the most scathing report in the world, and Uber is forced to drastically change their ways. But if they didn't change their ways last time, I don't see why they're going to do it this time. So anyway, that's my thoughts about that. What do you say? Do you agree, disagree? I'd love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way, helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. Also, if gas prices are getting you just a little down, check out the Get Outside app below. It's totally free, but you get cash back on every gas purchase. Please take the survey below for our sponsors. They could really use your help. If you want more content from me that's not rideshare related, check out my other channels at Kevin T. Rodriguez, the Apptrepreneur Vlogs, and Autograph Hound. And if you want to talk to me or other fellow rideshare drivers, check us out at the Apptrepreneur Hangouts on Facebook. And as always, blame responsibly. Have a good one.